Well, no one made me an offer I couldn't refuse, so I just did it anyway. Sort of. What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I wanted to do this. I wanted to join in. I saw the list, listened to at least one ranking so far of the films, and got the breakdown. I've seen most of these already. I don't need to watch them all in the same month. I think what's funny is listening to people go, I used to love this movie, and then I rewatched it again, and then but then you're also watching some movies for the first time, so you don't really have the same, it's not really measured. You know what I'm saying? Like, some movies do actually get old the more you watch them. Like, they don't have that rewatchability factor. So just because you watched a movie already like 3 or 4 times years ago and now you're watching it again for the fifth time, putting that film up against comparison for something you just saw for the first time is nice and shiny and new doesn't necessarily mean the new thing is better. It just means it's new. So, um, I'm gonna rank these films because I guess everybody's dropping at the same time, and I want to be a part of that mix. There's a couple I haven't seen, but I'm not gonna lie and be like, I saw these. So I'm just gonna have to admit to a couple. Some of them, it's been a while, so every single one of my things will reflect on why it's here, why where it is, why it's ranked, all that kind of thing. Uh, and we'll go down this list of the 31, I don't know, crime movies. Uh, Crime and Punishment. There's some long run times in here, so Crime and Punishment, I think, is, I feel like that's what I'm going to put on my video. Let's kick it off with the three I haven't seen. So this is going to be 31 through 29, I guess. It doesn't really matter. These are just like in any order. It doesn't, I'm not ranking movies I haven't seen. It'd be weird. So we have The Gentleman, True Romance, and Menace to Society. Three films I haven't seen. Admittedly, I'm admitting I haven't seen these movies. I know The Gentleman is relatively new. At some point, it was on a streaming service without audio description, and I was frustrated by that. I think it was on Paramount Plus or something. It didn't have audio description, or Amazon, one of those two. And so that's why I didn't watch it. But it's still like, it's on my list. I've wanted to watch it before the next season of The Gentleman on Netflix. It's like on my to-do list, so to speak. I never felt the need, like I missed Menace to Society. I didn't realize that that was a classic, but I guess it is. And yeah, True Romance, I should see it, but it's going to be probably without audio description just because of the age of the film. And I haven't seen it offered with audio description, so I think it wouldn't be the best watch for me at this point. Probably no point really ranking it. Uh, all right, so where are we at? Number 28? Cap once cap upon grammatical cap menace two cap once cap upon grammatical error cap a cap time. Yeah, number 28, Once Upon a Time in America. I don't really remember this. I'm gonna be honest, I saw this a long time ago. It was on like TCM. It was one of those things where I just had it on. I was in my teens. I used to try to like slam a lot of films back when I decided I wanted to do film. Some of them I'd go to the library and rent. And I remember some of them better than others. Obviously I watched a TV edit of a 4-hour mob movie. So I didn't get the whole thing, admittedly. That's why it's kind of low. I feel like it should be higher. I've always heard good things about this. It's always been sort of like on my list to kind of come back around to. Like maybe I just didn't see it at the right time. Some things just don't hit you when you're like 13 and you watch it and you're like, I don't know, man, this is like 4 hours. Like I revisited Gone with the Wind earlier this year, and it had been about the same length of time since I had seen Gone with the Wind on TCM. Long ass movie, or AMC, one of those two back in the day. I'm old. Movies used to be on TV and not on streaming services, and you just had to wait for them to be there. So, I don't know if this movie has audio description anywhere. I have it the lowest because I'm honestly not super excited about watching a 4-hour movie, especially if it doesn't have audio description. If it has audio description, game changing, like all over it. But Yeah, so that's number 28, I guess. 27. Sicario 2. Why the fuck is this on here? I have seen this recently. Was anybody like, you know what? You know what we really need? A sequel to Sicario. I have seen this. This one is intentionally low. This wasn't just like, oh, I was a bored child. This one is I saw this movie as a grown ass adult and I was like, why did if Emily Blunt said no, then don't make a sequel. It's not even the same director. It's this movie is so inferior to the rest of the list. It's offensive. Um, I watched. I sat through Adam Does Movies list, and because I love him, I think he's hilarious. But and he said the same thing about the Warriors. He was like he felt like it was the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 on the list, and I was like, I feel like this. This is the thing. Do do people really like this movie? Is this on the same level? Did people really watch Sicario 2 and go, wow, that is as good as the original, and we didn't even need Emily Blunt? Because I didn't feel that. I thought Sicario 1 was way better. Denis Villeneuve, what are we talking about here? Like, these two things are not like the other. This is not the same thing. Um, so yeah, this is really easy for me. Probably should be below Once Upon a Time in America, to be honest. I just don't remember Once Upon a Time in America very well. And I remember being a bored kid trying to force myself to watch it. Like, I did a lot of films back then, man. Like, it's been years since I've seen, like, Giant. You know, I kind of remember, like, some of the scenes from it visually. There's some scenes that I know I've seen. I saw a bunch of stuff in film school, like Breathless, that I kind of remember. Like, I've seen a bunch of things, but I've also seen like thousands of movies, and there's only just so much you can fit in your brain at one time. But I do remember Sicario 2 being like, it's not a bad movie. Actually, there are no bad movies on this list. But it is kind of cartoonishly when you look at the rest of the list, you go, but really? Why is this here? I think I could have come up with like an alternative to this movie. Like, instead of Sicario 2. Did they just want a movie that would rank low easily so that it wouldn't offend anybody? Somebody had to be a fan of Sicario. Anyway, moving up. New Jack City. 20, what around 26 now? I don't know. Wesley Snipes. I watched this when I was way too young. It was hilarious because I didn't understand it, but like there was that. I used to have a friend, and rest in peace. He's the reason why I keep Mac the movie guy, even though it doesn't make sense for me as a blind film critic anymore. I probably just should be John Stark the blind film critic or some sort of blind thing. But my friend is no longer with me, and he gave me the name, so I'm keeping it. But he introduced me to R-rated movies and horror movies and stuff like that. Like some of the stuff that he introduced me to is classic. Like he's the reason I've seen Terminator 2. That was my first R-rated movie, Tremors. But also he found like New Jack City. And while I remember Wesley Snipes being really good, I kind of don't remember the rest of the movie. Like I remember watching this as a kid and it got just like going over my head. You know, like Terminator 2 is a cool movie to watch. I think he wanted to watch New Jack City because he was always like wanted to be kind of gangsta, which was a problem for him later on in life. But um, I remember the Wesley Snipes performance being good. That's what I remember out of New Jack City. I don't remember the rest of the movie. But it's going above Sicario too, though. Anyway, all right, moving up the list. American Gangster. God, I haven't seen this in years. This was a slog to sit through in theaters. It was like 2008. This was like awards bait. I thought it was too long at the time. I saw it once and I was like, I don't need to see this again. I actually ended up buying it on DVD and I've never watched it. It's a DVD that I own, I've never seen. I truly, I think I got it. I mean, I used to get things like used or whatever. I think I got that at one of those used DVD places, or like $5 or something. I don't know. I was like, oh, I'll probably get around to this later on and realize that I was wrong and Ridley Scott was a master director and the runtime was perfect and nothing is wrong with this movie. Performances are excellent, and that's one of the things I'll say about this movie is absolutely the cast is terrific. Denzel Washington was phenomenal. I think this was a play at the Oscars for Ruby Dee. I think I've seen American Gangster with audio description floated. I've just never felt the need. I noticed that if I had been given a heads up on this list, I would have had to rewatch it. But I think that's interesting. Is if I had been given the heads up and told what the list was, a lot of these films don't have audio description. So what would have happened to my opinion on these films? So that's my unsullied opinion. Is I saw this back in this movie came out in 2008. That's the last time I saw it. So moving up the list, Carlito's Way. I liked this. This is not a bad movie. This movie is fine. This movie, when you look at sort of like Al Pacino and you realize how much he's been in and around um, this genre before, and also it's got Sean Penn. I God, when did I see this? It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen Carlito's Way. Also, uh, don't know if that has audio description. I would watch this again because I only kind of remember it, and it was back when I think I saw this after Scarface. Like I finally saw Scarface for the first time, and it triggered me to want to see like more things like that. And I saw Carlito's Way, and I was like, well, it's not Scarface. So that's like why it's here where it is. I don't have a great memory of it, but it's not a negative one. It did make a huge impact on me, but I also have nothing negative to say about it. Which I can say about a couple things on this list that it's been like, I don't know, at least 20 years since I've seen it. So The Godfather Part 3, there has to be like, well, first of all, there are just a ton of movies on this list. I know this feels low for The Godfather Part 3, admittedly. I actually have a review of this on my channel, so you can actually listen to my thoughts on The Godfather Part 3. I actually like the trilogy, but there is like a substantial difference between 1 and 2, and there are a lot of banger titles as we increase. So there's some stuff that just didn't work for me in Godfather Part 3, which is one of the reasons why, like, for some people, it's always like 1, 2, and 3. I'm surprised it got as much Oscar love as it did. But anyway, there's not much to say here. Andy Garcia came in. It was okay. I mean, I'm glad he has an Oscar nomination in general as an actor. But I if I keep rewatching the Godfather franchise, like I saw Godfather Part 3, the first time that I saw it was when I reviewed it for this. The other movies I had seen before, and I actually own the first one. I don't know why I only own the first one, but I do. I own the first one, and which is also the one I, spoiler alert, rank highest. Um, so, yeah, I finally had seen it a couple years ago. I think Godfather was celebrating an anniversary. There was that TV show that was out about it. Anyway, this movie has audio description. Paramount Plus is where I saw it. It's probably still there. Moving up the list. A Bronx Tale. It's been a minute. The funny thing about A Bronx Tale is, so, there's a musical. I think this is the only one I can say that for. And I'm familiar with the musical also. In addition to the movie. The movie's better. The musical kind of makes you have this weird opinion of the movie. Because you're like, wait a minute, they were able to turn that into a song and dance? Yes, they were. It's one of the lighter titles on here. There's some heavy titles on here with some like lots of, I don't know, like excessive violence and rape and just brutality in it. Bronx Tale is fine. I don't have any problem with it. I would watch it again. I don't know if it has audio description. Yeah, it's De Niro's here. It's his directorial, I think it's his directorial debut from what I remember. And he's not the lead. There's the young boy. I think Chas Palminteri's in this as well, if I'm correct. I think he's in this. So like usual sort of mob people. It's a fine movie. It's a perfectly fine movie. I have nothing against it. Just this list is full of bangers. It really is. Moving up the list. The Untouchables. I saw this recently. I don't know if I reviewed it. I might have a review of this on my channel. I should have looked. I've seen it with audio description. I think. And I finally got around to watching this within the last like 5 years. So I've seen it relatively recently. It was okay. It didn't blow me away as much as I'd heard The Untouchables. That's the thing, is that sometimes these movies get overhyped and then you walk into it thinking you're about to just be blessed by God and then you're not. So it like automatically kind of just feels like you've missed out on something. Costner's a weird person to have in this type of a movie. He just doesn't fit in the genre. Neither did Sean Connery. Like the performances, but there's some iconic scenes that are just fantastic. The music, like there are things that I remember out of this movie that worked. And Costner playing the good guy, you know, the whatever. But he's kind of weird for a crime movie. I don't know. Some people just they feel right for it, and then some people they don't. And Connery got this was his Oscar nomination, I believe, was for The Untouchables, or he won. So I know there was a reason I watched it. Maybe it was when Connery died. I watched this movie. That might have been the trigger for it. But yeah, it's here. It's fine. Again, did it with Bronx Tale? Fine. These movies are fine. I'd probably give these movies like a B or a B plus. And we're already this low on the list, and I'm already at BB plus range. So things are looking up. Moving up the list. The Warriors. I actually did see this recently. I have a review of it on my channel because it celebrated an anniversary, and Paramount Plus did have it with audio description. This movie was nuts. This movie was so weird. But when you look into the history of it and how it was shot and all the different things and the controversy, it's you kind of have to. If you take it at face value and you look at it from 2025 lens, it's kind of feels a little like grindhousey coming out of the 70s, and it's easy to write off as just being this like cheap silly thing that just doesn't match with the rest of the list. But if that's the thing about old movies, is sometimes you actually have to remember why they're there. And I know it's not as old as The Godfather, which is still on here as well. So why wasn't it The Godfather? And it's like, well, that wasn't the style they were going for. This was them trying to show a completely different kind of violence and gang violence and stuff like that. Yeah, I liked not loved The Warriors, so we're still in that zone. I think it was fun though. I just don't have an immediate need to watch it again or to watch it repeatedly over and over like I do some of the titled. Man, this list, seriously, bangers. Moving up the list.
Misspelled cap, boys cap, and grammatical error cap.
Boys in the Hood. I haven't seen this movie in years, but it's fucking heartbreaking. There are some scenes in there where Cuba Gooding Jr. is just like, I don't remember the whole movie, but I remember the parts that matter. So that was enough for me to put this movie here. I do need to rewatch this. I don't know if it has audio description, but knowing that this movie was on the list made me want to watch it. Made me want to rewatch it. Jesus. This was John Singleton's director nomination. He got the nomination, but the film didn't get anything. I think the only nomination for this film was for John Singleton. So he was young at the time, sort of breaking into film, and it's very aspirational in terms of directing choice and what it says about the movie, because it feels like it's a movie that appeals to like a hip hop audience, but it really has something else to say about it. Maybe Menace to Society does too, and I just have always thought that movie was something else. But I should probably give it a shot. But yeah, I want to watch this movie again. Boys in the Hood. Moving up. Copland. I feel like I have spent a lot of time telling people about Copland over my life. I love Copland. I have it on DVD. I don't love it as much as some of the movies I have above it, but I have definitely recommended Copland to a lot of people who don't know anything about it, who don't remember it, didn't do that well at the box office. And I think it's a good movie. There are better movies on this list, but I stand by Copland. I think James Mangold directed a fantastic ensemble piece. It's one of Stallone's best acting performances. It's got a great supporting cast, full of people. And it's been a couple years since I've seen it. I don't know if it has audio description. I doubt my DVD has it, but I would watch this again. I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times, 5 times, somewhere around there. It's one of those films that when I discovered it, took to, telling everybody about it because I kept running into people who were like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh my God, you never heard of Copland?" I'm glad that it's included here. That's a nice choice. Like, it kind of makes up for having Sicario too, is that somebody remembered that Copland existed. So, moving up the list.
Cap A Cap History Grammatical
A
Error
History of
Cap
Violence. This one
Violence.
is also a really interesting inclusion. This is David Cronenberg. I like this movie when it came out. I doesn't feel like it fits with the rest of the movies. It's kind of on a different level. I mean, like, equally, you could have just had Eastern Promises. Like, they're sort of kind of like the same thing. But yeah, Vigo's great here. William Hurt, Maria Bello. I still remember the sex on the staircase sequence. I kind of remember. See, Cronenberg loves horror. He's great with horror. So this is him sort of stepping outside of his genre a little bit. But there's gore, and I don't want to like spoil who gets it, but somebody gets like a brutal shot to the head, and David Cronenberg comes out. The Cronenberg of it all. So, yeah, the violence is sparingly brutal and present, and it's a shorter movie. And again, I'm just surprised that it was included. There are a lot of smaller movies like this in Copland that aren't obvious choices, that I feel like they didn't go far back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there are mafia movies and mob movies that were made before Godfather. I think Godfather's the oldest movie on the list. So, like, they could have gone back more and tried to include more movies from the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s that were crime movies. They just didn't do that. So, okay, fine, whatever. But instead, we get History of Violence and Copland, and I guess Sicario too. Moving up the list.
Cap Lock Cap Stock Grammatical Error Cap and Cap 2 Cap Smoking
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I was lucky enough to work in a video rental store. And I actually saw Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. First of all, I lived at a video store. I was renting shit all the time. So I saw this first. This was my first Guy Ritchie movie. I didn't like come back around to it later. I'm of the age where I saw this and it hit me, and it was cool as shit. Like, when you are in high school and you see Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, you see like you feel like you've just seen God. Like, it just there's something about it that feels like it's the kind of stylish filmmaking. I mean, Fight Club was that same way. There were some things that hit us sort of in the late 90s that there was a certain style that we were getting that at a certain age was just felt that super coolness, that suaveness to it. And there's a whole generation of people around my age group who worship these movies because we saw them at the right time. I've seen it a couple times. It's not my favorite Guy Ritchie movie, but it absolutely is one of my favorite Guy Ritchie movies. I do think he topped himself. I don't think he started out at the top and then worked his way down to the bottom. I'm really happy this is on the list. I'm actually also a fan of Rock and Roller, which is not on the list. I know they included The Gentleman, they included this, they included another movie up the list, but I would also say I really liked Rock and Roller. So, not as much as Locke and the one that's above this, but that would be my number 3 Guy Ritchie movie. Well, no, Sherlock Holmes would be. I know that we don't always remember that as being immediately Guy Ritchie, but I'd say the Sherlock Holmes movies are above Rock and Roller, and then Rock and Roller. So, moving up the list.
Cap Sicario.
Sicario. Yeah. I like Sicario. I actually have a review of this on my channel as well. Emily Blunt is fantastic in it. I love the sort of misdirection we got with John Bernthal there for like a second. There's some brutal moments here, man. And like, this was a hard watch. I saw this in theaters, and I've seen it with audio description. This movie is tough to sit through. In some parts, there's just Denis just holds on these really uncomfortable shots. And great performances all around. I think it's one of those movies that is going to continue to be discovered and moved up the list. I thought it would be higher, but damn, there's some fantastic movies on the list, and I just had to keep putting things above Sicario. It's not my favorite Denis Villeneuve film, which would be Arrival, if I'm being honest. I'm a huge fan of Arrival. God, I've seen the movie, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 times, something like that. Um, I've seen Sicario maybe like 3 or 4, so I like it.
Cap the Cap Irishman.
The Irishman, I just reviewed this earlier this year on Netflix, so this is my most recent watch. I just did a Netflix, I wanted to prove that Netflix had decent movies. So in March, I did basically a 31 days of Netflix. And Irishman was in there, so I have a recent review of The Irishman. And yeah, I like this movie. This is one of the things where when people go streaming sucks, the model is terrible, blah blah blah. I'm like, sometimes it's perfect. Like arguably, even this year with Havoc, which some people didn't like, you got what you paid for, man. Like that's the due to the Raid Redemption being given sort of a blank check to make like another movie like Raid, you know. So this was a really expensive movie, and what Netflix did for Scorsese is they took box office off the table. That's the great thing about streaming is for some people, if you have an idea and it's pricey, and you know that if you put it out for theaters, there's no way that Irishman is going to make the kind of money back that it would have needed to pay for this. But it's a great movie. You know, that's when a streaming service stepping in and saying, well, our metric is different. We want you to draw subscribers, and more people can see it and more people will watch it, having it on the service sort of in perpetuity. So it's worth it more for like a long time investment. So they invested in The Irishman, and I hope that they didn't feel like that was a waste of time, because this is a great movie. And I'm still depressed that De Niro didn't get the lead actor nomination for this. So, Irishman, moving up the list.
Cap Casino.
Casino, I absolutely plan on reviewing this year. It's the 30th anniversary of Casino, and I own a copy of it that has audio description. I just haven't done it yet. It's Pride Month. It's not a movie for Pride Month. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I might have done it in May had I known what the list was. It's going to happen. There will be a review from me of Casino. It's not my favorite Scorsese movie, but Scorsese is somebody who has a lot of movies that are all kind of bangers, and he's very good at this genre of making crime movies. So this is not, yeah, Casino is, there are films that are higher than Casino, but it doesn't mean Casino is a bad movie. It just means I like movies more than Casino at this point, where I'm in like sort of a Sophie's Choice territory. I think I'm in an A range. Honestly, I think all of these movies I'm giving A to. Some of them are just desert island movies where I was like, I would take these. These are coming with me. And I could leave Casino. It's a little long, if I'm being honest. It's terrific, but one of the reasons why I haven't seen Casino a bajillion times is it is a little long. But it's good.
Cap Donnie Cap Brasco.
Donnie Brasco, again, great choice. See, these little, like, sort of, like, not as obvious choices, I'm so happy they're here. This is a great movie. Johnny Depp and Al Pacino. I've seen this movie a couple times as well, and this is a movie I love to tell people about because they don't always know about it. Not like casual, obviously like film buffs know, most film buffs, although surprisingly, I think this was one of the ones that Adam said he just saw for the first time. It's a great movie. I own it on DVD, and I haven't seen it in a couple of years because I haven't seen it with audio description. I would absolutely review this again. It's coming up on its 30th anniversary. This is 96, 97. It's one of those years. So I'll probably be reviewing it if I can get it with audio description when it hits its anniversary year. Moving up the list.
Cap Training Cap Day.
Training Day is a great movie. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Seen this a couple times, saw it in theaters. Own this on DVD. I got no problems with this movie. This movie's a great movie. It's classic. It's so quotable. It's probably the best thing Snoop Dogg's ever done as an actor. Yeah, Snoop Dogg's in this. So briefly, maybe he's done something better. I don't know. I don't want to go over his entire filmography right now. But probably also the best thing Antoine Fuqua has directed. So, yeah, this is stylish and cool. It was a surprise. They dropped this. You know how people talk about those like dead months? It's usually like January and September are like the movies that studios drop movies to die. Training Day was a September release. It did really well. I'd say. So it did pretty well for a September release. So, and it wasn't something that was so obvious where they were trying to like Shang-Chi or Hunger Games, you know, drop in September to try to, or Maze Runner, I think were all September releases. So, moving up the list.
Cap Scarface.
Scarface. I've seen this movie a couple times. I love it. My favorite thing about Scarface is that little video, which I know is staged. The little kids doing the Scarface scene is hilarious. I miss it. That's one of my favorite sort of like memes that got passed around. Was it's not really a meme. It's sort of like a viral clip or whatever. But that's hilarious. That the little kids doing Scarface. This is a fun movie. It's a blast to watch. Pacino's so over the top, but he makes it work. It's a great movie for that purpose alone. I don't know. I struggle about where to put Scarface because I think Pacino drives the movie more than the movie drives itself. The movie is really well done. I mean, really perfectly directed. There's some people that don't like it, but I think it's technically a remake because there was an earlier movie, Scarface. But man, Pacino's performance here is iconic. You see this on like people wear T-shirts for Scarface. It has stood the test of time. It earns its spot on the list. It deserves to be high. I like it. I doubt my DVD has, most DVDs don't have audio description. It's really disappointing. I have like 700, 800 DVDs and I don't know, 20 of them have audio description. So, moving up the list.
All Cap LA Cap Confidential.
LA Confidential. God, I love this movie as well. Kudos to some of these choices. I would not have expected LA Confidential on here. I get it. I get why it's here, but I don't immediately think of like mixing it in with like mob and crime movies. It's more of like a noir detective story. This would have been excellent to have on a list with like Maltese Falcon, and just I don't know, some of those other more detective-y type stories. My brain is failing me at this point. But yeah, LA Confidential is great. Brian Helgeland, and just a great ensemble cast with Crowe and Pierce and Spacey and Basinger. James Cromwell's in this. I'm doing this all from memory. Danny DeVito. I've seen LA Confidential a couple of times. I really like this movie. I don't know if it's available with audio description, but this is the problem with audio description. I mean, this is highlighting it. There's so many classic movies on here. And why don't they have audio description? Why can't I just easily access LA Confidential? Moving up the list.
Cap Snatch.
Snatch is my favorite Guy Ritchie movie. This movie's awesome. This movie is Guy Ritchie basically taking what he did in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, but doing it on a budget. Like somebody giving him a budget to do it, and Brad Pitt showing up for the fun. So it's a ton of fun. I miss Guy Ritchie so much. When you watch like Fountain of Youth, you're just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like there's so many, like Aladdin. I'm like, what is happening to Guy Ritchie? What are we doing here? So I'm happy to see that. It really makes me want to see The Gentleman more, that it was even included here, because I thought he had stopped using style and substance anymore in his movies. I actually kind of thought he had tripped and fallen. I liked The Covenant, but it didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. So I guess he just stopped using all of his tricks of the trade and gave up on it. But no, Snatch is perfect. And if you haven't seen Snatch and you've watched Guy Ritchie movies and you've been like, I don't get it, you should watch Snatch. If it has audio description, I don't know. I own this. It's another DVD that's just sitting over there on my shelf with no audio description.
Cap No Cap Country Grammatical.
No Country for Old
Cap
Men.
Catman.
I've seen this a bunch of times, actually. I saw it in theaters. I've seen it a couple times. It was one of the films I had to watch in film school. And then I read the book, and then I rewatched the film after the book. I'm thinking I have a review of this on my channel also. I'm pretty sure I do. So check that out. I do really love No Country for Old Men. It is, I think it's my favorite Coen Brothers movie. It's one of those things, and this is one of the things that like Adam had really low on his list. He's the only one I watched so far. And it was one of the things he said, like, I saw it a bunch of times and then I rewatched it again. And it's like, ah, man, that sucks that it doesn't work for you anymore. I feel like it's like the Polar Express moment, where you have like the jingle bells, and it's like, because every time I've watched No Country for Old Men, I'm like, yes, this is excellent. Javier Bardem is terrific. Such an odd performance for him, but brilliant. I love Tommy Lee Jones in this, Josh Brolin, Woody Harrelson. So the coin flip sequence is just in the gas station. Great stuff. Anyway, there are films higher than this. Moving up the list.
Cap the Cap Godfather Cap Part All Cap 2.
The Godfather Part 2. Basically, Godfather 1 and 2 are almost interchangeable, so right above that, I'll go ahead and say that the next one is
Cap the Cap
The
Godfather.
Godfather. So I put these two films together. I think they might be higher if I was older, but I did have to catch up on these. So I think that's sort of the realization of just having a certain generation of film critics. It's like we know where this film is coming from, but there are other films that we were sort of present for when they hit, and they hit us in certain ways. There's a film that I absolutely, if anybody watches this, I'm going to get razzed for having above The Godfather, I feel like, but I fucking love that movie, and I stand by it. Stand by this list. I have reviews for both Godfather and Godfather Part 2 on my channel. And there's really nothing to say about these movies. They're perfect back-to-back. Like Coppola just doing great work. Great performances. If you're wondering why, sometimes I look to Sonny, to James Caan, and sort of the impact of what that does for the first movie as being like the reason why 1 is still better than 2. That's a great sequence to me. So moving up the list.
Cap the Cap Town.
The Town. Yes, I put The Town above this. Ben Affleck's The Town. We're into the desert island zone with The Town. These are movies I would take with me. I have to have. I don't know how many times I've seen, a bunch of times. The Town is the film where I'm like, people have talked about, oh, Ben Affleck should have won director for Argo. I'm like, or The Town. I kind of wish we could go back and give him a nomination for The Town. This was so unexpectedly amazing. Even if you had seen Gone Baby Gone, I didn't expect The Town from Gone Baby Gone. I love The Town. It's one of my favorite movies. And this is a movie that I saw, and it's actually gotten better and better. It actually continues to get better. The more times I watch it, the happier it makes me, which is unusual for a film that I already liked. And then it just keeps rising up my list of favorite films. Like it keeps knocking them out. The more I see the film, it like knocked out The Godfather. I'm like, yeah, I would put The Town. I would watch The Town right now. Like I often can't because I usually have shit I have to review, but at some point I want to watch The Town again. It just made me realize it's been at least a year since I've seen it. It's just too long. Yeah, I love this movie. Moving up the list.
Cap Heat.
Heat. I have not been able to find this with audio description. It's pissing me off. I want to see Heat so bad. I haven't seen Heat since I went blind. It's pissing me off. This movie is fucking terrific. I haven't read Heat 2, and I don't know if I want to. It's like with Sicario. It's like, do we need a sequel? The first one's great. This is a perfect film. Michael Mann directed a perfect film, and he could never direct himself out of it. The expectation for Michael Mann after Heat has been too high. It's bonkers that this isn't a Best Picture nominee. It's absolutely insane. But this movie is perfection, no notes. I have nothing I would change. I just have, believe it or not, there are films above this. This was so hard. I don't even know why I have nothing. The last couple of movies are just like, I don't know what to do with them. I think I've seen Heat the least of the ones that are at the tippy top here. So maybe that's it. It is kind of long. I don't know, man. But I've still seen this a bunch of times. I still love Heat, and Val Kilmer, rest in peace. Great movie. Please put audio description on it. Where is this without? I have not found it with audio description, so I really want to rewatch Heat. But all right, moving up the list.
Cap Goodfellas.
My number 2 film is Goodfellas, which I thought honestly was going to be number 1. I was surprised this was so low on Adam's list. I mean, it was, I think, 8th or something like that. But man, this is like the iconic mob movie, and I think objectively it might be the best. I think technically this should be number 1, but unfortunately the movie that is above it is literally one of my favorite films of all time. It's one of the films that when people ask me, like, I sort of have a rotating list. I don't really have a favorite film of all time. I have maybe like a top 10, and I'll usually give you the answer. Sometimes I just default to Jurassic Park because it inspired me a lot. As a kid, going from that into like seeing it and seeing like what film can do. But the film above it is probably just, it just sits in that list where personally, and I was there for it in theaters watching it for the first time, whereas Goodfellas, I was too young and then had to catch up on it. So, but once I did, I've seen Goodfellas a bunch of times. This was in film school as well. I don't know how many times I've seen it. Goodfellas is excellent. It's iconic. And it's insane that it doesn't have a Best Picture win, and that Scorsese didn't get director for this. I mean, like, rewrite the Oscars, please. Give Goodfellas all the love in the world. Ray Liotta for Best Actor. I don't know, man, just... this should have swept. I feel like if we did Oscars now, this movie would just clean up. But Joe Pesci, am I funny? You know, that whole thing. I need to rewatch Goodfellas again. I own this on DVD also. I don't think I've seen this with audio description. I think I've seen it enough times that I don't know that it would bother me to watch it without, but I do want to see it again. It's like with Heat. I just, why can't I have audio description? I shouldn't have to watch it without audio description just because I've seen it so many times. So my number 1 movie is The Departed. I love The Departed, and I discovered The Departed like at the right time. Went to theaters, watched it, blown away. Saw it like at least twice in theaters. I was working in theaters at the time, so it was a lot easier to just go and see movies again. I have the poster for The Departed. The only poster, these are the only 2 you can see in my thing, and my viewer, X-Men and Dark Knight, but I do have a Departed poster that I had up on my walls. When I could see them, it made more sense. And that was absolutely a movie that people would walk in and be like, oh, The Departed. And I'd be like, fuck yeah, The Departed. I know some people don't think it's Scorsese's best, but it's my favorite. It's like a generational thing. I think if you were in theaters with Goodfellas, then The Departed seems inferior. You know, for people who are like 10 years older than me, Goodfellas hits them the same way that like some of those, like I was saying, like late 90s films, when you're in high school and you start seeing things like Fight Club and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and stuff like that, that sort of define that. If you're at the right time for Goodfellas, then Goodfellas is, you know, shut your face, it's over. But because it wasn't for me, later on I discovered The Departed, and I was an adult and I was able to just sit there and enjoy the whole movie. I've seen this, I don't even know how many times I've seen The Departed, an uncomfortable amount of times. It's the film I've seen the most on this list, hands down, easily. And I can't not put it here. I love the score. I love the performances. I think it's so weird that Mark Wahlberg is the one nominee out of this movie. It is so weird. It is such a weird thing to think about. You think about all the performances in this movie and you're like, wait, we nominated Mark Wahlberg? I mean, he's great. It's easily the best performance of his career, but he's like, there's DiCaprio, there's Jack Nicholson, there's Matt Damon. I mean, fuck, there's Martin Sheen, Alec Baldwin, Vera Farmiga, Ray Winstone. There's so many great performers, and Mark Wahlberg is the performer who got anyway, weird. Um, but this finally got Scorsese his Oscar that he so rightly deserved for so many years. Anyway, that's my list. That's my 31 on 31. The Departed wins. And what a killer list. And I only had not seen 3. I could have easily been on this list. There were some that I saw so long ago that I really should have rewatched them. But some films I don't need to. I don't need to rewatch The Departed to know it's great. I could have rewatched this entire list and not The Departed, and The Departed would still win. There's nothing on this list. Those 3 movies don't stand a chance. There's just no way. There's no way that one watching of Menace to Society is going to make it one of my favorite films of all time. I'm telling you, Departed is top 10, like with The Dark Knight, being up there. Like that is where it is for me. So, and Goodfellas is maybe like top 20. It's like right below it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.